To make these very pretty earrings, we need some scrap clay and then a leaf mold. I'm using a Makins here. And make four quantities of, divide your scrap clay in four equal quantities and make little ovals out of them. After that, place them in the mold. And you can use your roller to make sure that they get the proper shape of the mold and that they fill the mold perfectly. And you'll see that you will take them out from the mold with your roller. Then use your X-Acto knife to trim the little serrations of the leaf if you have a mold with the serrations. And you'll always have a little bit of a lip of the mold, and you want to take that one off too, even if you don't have any kind of serrations. But neatly trim the edge of your molded leaf so it would look prettier. It is this will be practically the most time consuming of the whole thing. These earrings should take you anywhere from 10 minutes to at most half an hour, depending on your level of expertise and how fast your hands go. That is without taking into consideration the baking time, of course. And generally you want this leaf to be anywhere between 1 millimeter and 1.5 millimeter thick. You don't want it thicker than that, but bake it for an hour. Then take your sculpting tool. You know that I use my wax sculpting tool the most, but you can use your needle tool and reinforce a little bit the veining on the leaf to give it more texture. And then also to give it more texture, you can actually use something that is very handy and easily found as texture. Yes, I know, the suspense is killing you, isn't it? What is that texture that is so handy and so good? Goodness. Well, it's your hand. Just look wherever you have more lines in the palm of your hand and just gently press the leaf. Not too hard because you don't want to erase the veining. After which, grab some mica powders. In order to get a beautiful effect, you need two pairs of what would be complementary colors. And because I want to do a fall thing, I chose gold paired with violet and super copper paired with spring green. Then place just dabs of each color on the leaf for now, without insisting too much. Just place dabs randomly. And of course you can use other combinations of colors. I just made these because they look very autumny if you want. But you can use, like, for example, a beautiful combination of color is purple and white pearl, and then the duo blue green mixed with a dark green. Or you can use it with mink. That is one of the most versatile and iridescent colors of Pearlex. So make sure that with the last color you apply, you cover all the spots that are not covered by mica powder. And you leave no polymer clay uncovered by mica powder. and you need a very soft bristle brush for this. After which, rub your brush on the paper towel and then just rub it on the leaf to mix the colors, and you will get this absolutely gorgeous effect that looks almost like a chameleon powder. Now if you have, like you see on two of them, I have two spots where there's too much of one color, and you don't want that to happen because it kind of takes away of the whole chameleon effect. Like see on the second from the left, there's too much green, and I'm going to place a little bit more gold on spots where I think that there's too much of one color, and then I'll rub again the brush and rub and mix the colors to get a more evenly mix of all those beautiful powders. Then just turn them upside down. And no, you don't need to texture the back, it will be just fine the way it is. And do the exact same thing on the back. Apply little dabs of each color. And yes, they are very thin, but they will be just fine if you bake them enough and at the proper temperature. Don't go higher. You may want to tint them because they are so thin. As I said before, I am using a casserole ceramic dish, and that acts like an auto tint. So I've baked things that are less than 0.5 millimeter thick and they never burned. And as you see, I do exactly like I did on the front. Then I rub the paintbrush to clean it a little bit, and then I mix all the colors. After which it's time for baking. But you don't want to bake them just straight like that. So on this type of pieces, what I like to use is just take a piece of the paper towel, and then I'm going to fold the edges. You see the paper towel is already folded in two, and I'm going to fold the edges and gently curve the leaves over the folded edges. You don't want them to be too curved, but you want them to have a little bit of motion. You know how the leaves that are blown in the wind are never straight, and that is what you want to suggest. And then you just bake them, after which you will need 4 jump rings, about, depending on the size of the chain link. I used here a very thin chain link, and I used 11 links on each size. Use a small hand drill to drill holes fairly close to the edge, and if you baked them enough, you have absolutely no worries about them breaking. Then all you have to do is to divide your chain link in 2, and then attach the leaves with jump rings. Attach one to the very end of the chain, and I'm sorry, I went a little bit off camera here, and then count the links to the middle of the chain. And it's especially important to have them at the same height, both. So when you're attaching the second leaf that goes at the middle of the chain, make sure that you properly count the links. So see here, my middle link is attached to the 5th link on the chain. So I want to make sure that that is where I attach the second leaf on the second earring. And then of course the other very important part is to make sure that when you attach it to the earring piece, earring finding, you attach the leaves facing forward. And always open the jump rings sideways. Never open them extending the circle. Always sideways, because otherwise you will weaken the metal and it will break. So it's very hard to tape here because that chain is very, very thin. But there you go. You might want to put a very thin layer of min wax varnish or Renaissance wax to not let the mica powder go away. But there you go, your fall earrings. Happy claying!